What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bully Movement Podcast, Episode 7. I'm Stats, California Supreme Bullies, and as always, my co-host Chucho, Mi Familia Bullies. And today we got a special guest, my man Tommy, formerly known as TYCBULLYZ. He will now be referred to as...
So you'll find me on Instagram, T_in_the_lab, starting as of today, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Nice.
So we always kind of start off with, getting a little background on our guest and, kind of figuring out how you started and, directions you went, stuff like that.
So when I started 2017, I bought my first French bulldog. Okay. I bred before that, and then obviously, you go through life, take breaks, have kids, do vacations, stuff like that. Dogs just aren't part of the program.
Yeah.
For every day. And then 2017, the homie Psycho, Cold Game Bullies, put me on. Told me I needed to jump in. Bought a dog. 1 turned into 2, 2 turned into 4, 4 turned into, you already know how it goes.
Yeah.
And just kind of been moving and grooving ever since.
Okay. Where did you get your first dog, and what was the direction of that dog?
So it was kind of like color was just starting, and I was naive to the movement.
Yeah.
And I went out and bought a pied fawn female because I wanted to breed AKC.
Yeah.
Right. And so in your mind, you're thinking, well, I want AKC. I want the standard. I want what's recognized.
Yeah.
So I went and did that. I ain't upset at it. The first litter I had with her, I did great.
Yeah.
I sold all the puppies. Everything went for a good price. And then I upgraded from there.
Okay. And so being that you almost, I guess, realized that that wasn't the wave, or did you come to that realization quickly, or did it take time? Did you do that breeding and you're like, wait, hold on, other stuff's going on, and to send you in a different direction?
Yeah. That's
okay.
exactly how it went.
Okay.
Because I had 3 boys in my first litter, a blue pied, a fawn, and I want to say, I think it was a black brindle. It's been so long.
Yeah.
Probably like a black brindle.
Yeah.
But everything sold, and it sold before 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And so it went smooth. I didn't have a problem. But then they're telling me hey, you need to get blue. You need to get Merle. You need to get, this, that. Make sure it doesn't have this. Make sure it doesn't have that.
Yeah.
And so I actually bought my next female from Motown Rudy.
Okay. And what was that? What was
she was a black Merle.
From off of who?
I want to say
Mummy?
No. It was a Mummy's son, I think. No, you know what? It was Mummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year was it?
18.
Yeah. So probably
it was
Mummy. Yeah. Okay. And then what'd you end up doing with her?
Man, it's Bretter.
Bretter.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I believe that is. Who did I breed her to first? Man, you're making me dig through the archives.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't remember who we bred her to, but that one went better than the first one.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, just kept trucking from there. Started keeping females.
Yeah.
Just wiggled my way up.
Then once you had bought a dog, did you immediately have an Instagram page dedicated to dogs, or was it a personal page?
It was just starting, not even starting. Literally, I remember my mom telling me we had our first litter, and she's like, "You're gonna cry when all those puppies leave." She's like, "You're gonna cry," because we were taking hella good care of them.
Cry my way all the way to the bank.
Hey, straight up, I sent her a video. I probably still got it in my phone. I was wiping my tears with all the hundreds.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially in them days, it was good money back then.
Yeah, they were beating my door down to get to them.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then, so once you had done those breedings and stuff like that, at what point were you like, oh, okay, I'm doing this?
Probably right around COVID.
Okay.
I was sitting at home. I had multiple females. I had other breeder friends, and we pretty much all had a conference call. I remember it was around lunchtime. I was sitting at home, couldn't go nowhere. Kids are in the house homeschooling, and we're like, do we breed? Do we not breed? Everybody's going to be stuck at home.
Yeah.
Where's the money at? And I said, you know what? I got 2 females in heat. I'm going to breed them.
Yeah.
I had 13 puppies and just racked out. Crazy.
And those were also color breedings?
Those were color breedings.
Okay. So then this is 2020?
roughly 2020, 2021, right in there.
Okay. So then after you had, I know you had, we had talked earlier and you had done like a few other breedings, like, you know, more structure style
Yeah.
dogs. What brought you to that?
I liked the look.
Okay.
I didn't care. I didn't care about the color. The color brought me to the structure.
Yeah.
Because you could start off cheap with color.
Yeah.
And it was literally the stock market. You buy in low, and the market just kept going up and up and up and up,
Yeah.
and you could flip your money so fast on these puppies.
Yeah. It was so easy.
Yeah, but then at the same time, now you're going to buy a bigger stock because to even get into a structure dog, I think we bought like 3 or 4 of them in 6 months, and the minimum price was like 23.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds about right. Where did you go to get those dogs?
So the first 2 we bought, we picked those up from Mano City Bulls. We bought Checkmate and Destiny. They were hash bloodline.
Okay. So they were off of Hash?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then where'd you go with that?
Bred him. Checkmate. He did some work. He produced us the stud. We actually did a pup back with MCB, and they gave us Shogi. And so Shogi, he's still around. He's kicking. He's in a caretaker home right now. Boy's living it up. But he's like, man, I took him to Texas. I took him to Vegas, and just clean house with him.
Nice. So you've seen like the scene in other states, like dog shows and stuff like that.
Yep.
How were those experiences for you?
Everybody's hella cool. But they're at that time, California, we just had them. We had them.
Yeah.
We just walk in there and immediately everybody stops and looks.
This is where we look at the camera and we say we still got them.
Yeah.
But yeah. What you got to say, Chooch? You got something for him?
Oh, go ahead. I'm
Okay.
over here drinking the Jack
So
and Coke.
So you ended up getting that hash blood. I know you had said you had bred to Don and Debo and stuff like that. How did those turn out for you?
The Dawn litter was cool. We sold pretty much everything off of that. We kept one, and we at that time the market was kind of flopping, and so I don't think even to this day we've bred her.
So what was this, 23?
Somewhere in there, yeah
2022. So I feel like 22, like the back end of 2022 is when it slowed down, because the beginning of 2022 I was still eating.
Yeah.
So it was good, 2022.
And then we bred to Debo, and just kept everything off that litter.
Oh, okay.
We had offers. We had good offers.
Yeah.
And we just we kept it.
And
That's where Unagi comes from, right?
Yeah, Unagi. Yeah.
And what year was that?
I'd have to say that was probably 23.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then that's kind of,
Like if you at that time, if you weren't doing a big breeding, you weren't gonna get that big money.
Right.
And that was crazy because I think that was like a $25,000 female to a $25,000 stud credit.
Yeah.
And just kept everything.
It's insane.
That's
Yeah.
insane. Especially the offers were decent, right, for the pups?
Oh yeah. Yeah, first pick female. I won't say who offered us, but they offered us. And I mean, even with stud credits to other dogs that we wanted to breed to, and we still told them no.
Trying to do some detective work right now, because he said had studs, was offering studs that they wanted to breed to. Process of elimination. I'll just keep it to myself. But okay, so then you've done some breedings and stuff like that, and then moving forward, I know that you're also involved with like reproductive stuff now.
Yeah.
Who, what, where, and how did that happen?
So COVID hit. Still sitting at home, bored, nothing to do. Didn't need an income, but I just couldn't sit and cook food. I mean, my significant other at the time was in the medical field.
Okay.
And so first, what are they with the first, not a first responder, with the front line. She was on the front line. What do they call that?
You should know.
Oh my God, what's the term?
Essential
worker.
Essential worker.
Yes.
And so, daddy daycare every day. I needed something to do.
You got bored?
So, oh man, so bored.
Yeah.
So I already knew about progesterone, I had a machine, bought a machine, and then, talking with the homies, 3-4 hour wait lines just to get a progesterone test at that time.
Yeah.
An ultrasound wasn't even like a priority for anybody, so you couldn't get that. So those were like my first 2 big purchases.
Okay.
To like really push myself into that.
Yeah.
And then, you don't have to wait in line no more.
Right.
Just come over to the pad. I got you.
Or the line shorter.
Exactly. And the test results are 30 minutes guaranteed.
Yeah.
And now, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just kind of snowballed.
Yeah. Before we got on camera and stuff, we were talking a lot about that stuff and how it's going and, stuff like that. Also, is there, what are some of the mistakes that you see people make in the, reproduction aspect of breeding dogs?
How much time do we got?
It depends on how much battery we got, but we'll push it.
No, I mean, honestly, number one, just taking care of your female. If she's pooling, take care of that. If she's got skin conditions, take care of it. If she's got ear infections, take care of it. There's so many little preventative things that we can do to make the breeding better and easier for everybody, myself, yourself, the dog. Really just by taking care of them.
Right.
They come in, I see their fingernails are curled under into the pads.
Yeah.
They got badass ear infections, and we're doing progesterone tests on them.
Yeah.
And then you're wondering why the levels won't climb, or
Yeah.
the levels climb and then drop, and
Yeah.
the
dog's just not healthy. Like, you can't expect an unhealthy dog to have healthy hormones.
and then produce a healthy litter.
Right.
Really, it's just we're asking a lot from the female.
Yeah.
So we should give her equally what we plan to get back from her.
Right. And I think, another thing we had touched on is that I think a lot of people, dove in head first during those times like that. And now they're at a point to where they have too many dogs and they're overwhelmed.
Yep.
So those females aren't getting the care and the attention that they got beforehand when the money was flowing and they had less dogs and stuff like that. But, that care and attention is literally what's making and breaking your breeding.
Oh, yeah.
So, I would definitely recommend that if you're breeding a female, that you give her the utmost attention.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
You ask for a lot for a
even
female,
prenatals.
Yeah.
Even something as simple as a prenatal.
Yeah.
Like that goes so far for these dogs.
Yeah. So other than prenatals, is there any other supplementation that you would recommend? You had touched on something else too. Let me remember that.
Not really.
Just prenatals?
Prenatal. I mean, I'm not a scientist. I couldn't tell you. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, in order to know what your female needs, you
You'd
need
have
to
to do
take her
blood work.
and go get a blood work.
Right.
And not just a progesterone test. You need to do like a whole panel on
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
So that way you know where she's lacking.
Right.
Just because she eats food, drinks water, and walked in the door doesn't mean she's healthy.
Right. You had said something about pooling also.
Yeah.
It seems to be kind of a common thing. I see it a lot.
Mostly more in the bullies, right?
EBs and bullies.
I
For
deal with
Frenchies?
Frenchies. I see it too.
I did have a female.
But hold on, that's like freakier Frenchies.
That's all we got, baby.
Yeah, we ain't not these color dogs. They don't have that problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I deal with that here and there. What is a way to prevent that or treat that? I guess not prevent it, but treat it and to identify it quickly.
Oh, you're gonna smell them.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll never forget that smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that smell will clear out a room.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I would say that our noses are probably a little more advanced than other people, and some people may not be paying that attention. Is there anything else?
Some of us are numb to the smell.
Yeah. Or
That's what it really is. So.
Yeah.
Is there
'Cause,
anything else?
If you've got 10 females in a room,
right.
that I guarantee you that room stinks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like regardless of how clean they are.
Right, it's 10 dogs.
Like it's 10
Yeah.
dogs.
It's
You
10
you
dogs.
smell it. You smell them. You don't smell that one particular dog.
And how do you recommend treating that?
Well, they're gonna have to start antibiotics.
Okay.
And then drainer. You gotta get a drain tube like
multiple times.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes daily.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are you wanting to see out of that, and what are you not wanting to see out of that drainage?
Man, I'll have a video posted on my page. Everybody can go take a look at it.
Okay.
You'll see it.
That's T in the lab.
Yeah. T _ in the lab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll see it. It gets bad.
Yeah. I seen one that you posted today.
Oh, well, yesterday.
Or yesterday.
That one was nasty.
Yeah, that one was nasty.
Yeah,
So that's what you don't want to see.
Absolutely. But I'm glad that it's able to drain out.
Okay.
Because you get some females where it basically has developed pyometra.
Yeah.
And now that dog's breeding career is over.
Yeah.
Instead of paying for a C-section, you're paying for a spay.
So you would say 100% pyo is a wrap.
I've seen some techniques.
Yeah, because I've seen it. I've seen dogs that had pyo and had successful litters after.
Yeah, yeah. And again, I've seen some techniques from people.
Yeah.
That it works.
Yeah,
It's not. You probably couldn't get it done anywhere, but it works.
And then a female that's pulling, can you AI that female?
I probably wouldn't even want to breed her.
You wouldn't even. So, but doesn't a
I would say you could go surgical.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you could, talk to your vet, and first you got to see if your vet will even do it.
Okay.
And then if your vet's willing to do it, you look at the horns, because the horns are everything. And 90% of the time when they're pulling, it's all in the vaginal tract. It's all in that pre-cervix area.
Yeah.
And
So-
I could see a dog that's pulling get pregnant through surgical.
So that is, I've seen it personally.
Yeah.
And that's for me that's the only way.
Yeah.
Is if a dog. So now you're saying, if you're saying if a dog is pulling, it's unbreedable,
I wouldn't breed it.
but forever.
No, just for that one.
Just that
one incident.
So why would it be pulling on that one time? Like,
What makes a bitch pull?
you know?
Man, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I don't know either.
can't honestly say, because I've seen dogs where they go 2-3 litters with nothing, and then on that last one they bring them in and they're like, "Hey, she's not bleeding, she's not this, she's not that."
Yeah.
And you put that tube inside of her and you drain out a half a gallon of nasty.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Soup.
Yeah. Yeah, consomme.
Yeah. So, me in particular, I had a female that she's had 2 heats. She's pulled twice. This time around, I did a surgical on her, and I'm like 90% sure she took.
Was she still pulling this round?
She was still pulling.
There you go.
And I just put her on antibiotics and whatever. I just treated her with antibiotics that wouldn't hurt the breeding.
Yeah, but that's the right steps. And you did the surgical. You didn't do a TCI.
Yeah,
You didn't do an AI.
Yeah.
You put her on
'Cause you have to
antibiotics.
bypass that.
You have to get past that, basically, that force field of
Right.
Speaking
blood and...
on your MJ daughter?
Yeah.
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 It's crazy though too, because we did the ultrasound the other day, and on one side of on the female, there's puppies, and then on the other side we didn't see nothing.
Man, I'd like to, when you guys get her opened up for her C-section,
Yeah.
I'd like to know if only one side took.
Well, that's what we're thinking.
Yeah.
That's
So
what-
we're thinking,
that's-
is there a
yeah.
bad horn?
You think
I
they'll?
guess, yeah. I know I've had C-sections done for me before where the vet has told me one horn is completely closed off. It's there, but when they open her up on that center line, one side you get the sac, and then on the other side there's like a piece of uterus basically that has just molded over.
Yeah. It's called the hymen.
I don't think that's it.
I've seen the female actually have one horn one time.
I've seen that too.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. So that female that has that layer of skin right there, would that horn still be able to take on a
You would
surgical?
think so.
Bypass that? Why wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Right?
it's got everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. So for you people out there who have dogs that are pulling, surgical is the way to go. Treat your dog, do a surgical. Don't be doing if you're sticking your pipette in a dog for an AI and you're having a gallon of blood pour out, you might as well not even shoot that semen in there.
Nope.
No,
So
there's no way that semen's living
yeah, just a
in that consomme.
yeah, just a recommendation to you breeders out there that may have or have not dealt with that.
And touching back to people taking care of their females, like what do you mostly see nowadays. It could be because the money's not there like it used to be.
It's hard because now essentially you're using your 9 to 5 money to keep your program going. Yeah. And so it's hard to justify, you know, I had somebody, I recommended them to the vet, and it was an ear infection, and you're talking like $1,000 bill for the start of your program.
Yeah.
And you're trying to figure out, okay, well, I'm about to spend this band to get her ears right. And then I still got to pay my stud fee. I still got to do all my testing.
Right.
I still got to come up with a C-section. And then
still got to pray she takes.
That's the big, that's the hurt right there.
Yeah. And another thing also with, like you're saying, like with the care of the actual females and stuff like that, for people that have multiple dogs that aren't, I guess, true breeders, you know, they kind of, because for me it's like I'm breeding regardless.
Yeah.
But the people that were breeding for the money, it's hard to be excited when the money ain't there.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard to, so it's like, are you excited to go out there and clean a kennel or clean a crate and fuck, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why the females aren't getting the care, because it's like, you know, I'm sure people are looking like, fuck those dogs.
Yeah, it's taxing on you.
Yeah,
so
mentally. Yeah.
It's hard to,
but it is necessary to continue your program and have healthy litters, and you know.
You know what I've been seeing a lot of lately is accidental pregnancies.
What the?
Accidental, because everybody got
this. They can care less.
Well, that, and then they're like, I didn't even know she was in heat, because they're not paying attention.
Right.
They told me when I bought them they couldn't do it, that it had to be done artificially. No, they'll figure out a way. Yeah. You know,
and that's crazy though, because I go and spend X amount of money on progesterones and stud fee, and then my bitch don't even take. You know.
Terrible.
Yeah, and they got accidentals.
Yeah, and they over here dogs just humping.
Yeah, and they don't even know. And then that's the worst part, is that now
they don't know what day they're on.
Nothing. Yeah. And then so I'm like the first question when they tell me I think she's pregnant is, all right, is there milk? Yeah. Because we don't know how far along she is.
Right.
And then they're like, yeah, she's got milk. And I'm like, okay, I hope your bank account's right.
Right.
Because you're going to have to get a C-section. And 90% of the time, it's going to be an emergency because you have no idea what's going on.
Right. Yeah. like I said, it's just hard for people to be excited when the money ain't there. Mm-hmm. So that's why we're running into, you know.
Then they got a regular job, so they got to pay a whelper.
Yeah, that's a whole other story.
Oh man,
you know. Yeah, I mean, personally, like I have to take care of my stuff, but my stuff means so much to me.
It's different for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I'm dropping a litter in a couple weeks, and there's a dog show that's supposed to go to or whatever, stuff like that. And I'm just like, fuck, this is this particular female's like older blood, like this is the last of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, and she only has like 2 puppies in her. She's an old ass bitch. Ugh. But it's like, bro, I need to do everything I can to make sure these puppies are alive. So yeah, I don't think I'll be attending. But like you said, it means more to me because I'm not, you know, like these puppies won't even be for sale. So
you're breeding for yourself now.
Yeah, 100%. What I should have been doing the whole time. But,
yep,
100%.
Yeah. I think you said, what did you say? Because I have the same mentality, and I told you I was going to take this, but if it's not directly in front of me or in the lane that I want to be in, like I was telling them, you know, man, I hope you guys don't ask me who studs are and what, because honestly, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, like if it doesn't pertain to me, then
if it's not,
it doesn't exist.
That's it. If it's not in my lane, I'll ask people all the time, oh, who are we breeding to? Who's the stud? And they'll tell me, and I say, okay, cool. And then I got to go look later and see who it is. Right. You know, so that way I can relate with them. You know, as they're asking me questions or as we're confirming their litter, I can tell them, okay, congratulations. You know, I actually looked up who he was. He's a nice dog.
Right. Yeah.
And speaking of that, are you in the lab still cooking dope dogs for you, or are you just out of that?
Yeah, I am. I took a little break. I had some, you know, life changed for me. Yeah. So I took a break. I focused on myself. You know, I focused on this. You know, I was able to do quite a bit of things.
Yeah.
And now I'm able to kind of slow down. Things have gotten to the point that I like them to be at.
Yeah.
So I think this year I have 2 studs that are actively working. We got Asteroid that I co-own with Divine Empire and Fabo Frenchies.
Yeah.
Rojo, Big Rope Fluffy, and then we got Top Dollar that I co-own with DNA Frenchies and Divine Empire.
That's
Big
crazy
Rope
that
Merle.
you. My bad to cut you off, but that's crazy that you speak about Astro. I seen that boy, and I didn't even know that you cloned him.
Yeah,
That's
but
crazy.
I mean, like, it's not. I got the co-own because it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, studs, as you guys know, way easier than puppies.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And but this year, I got some Grinch females that I'm gonna breed them. We've got
Come talk to me.
huh?
Come talk to me.
Hey, you know, I'm looking around like because that stuff that's the lane I like.
Yeah.
The color stuff's cool, but there's so many people doing it. If you're not breeding to the top,
Right. Or the newest of new.
that's it.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of nice that I have these two boys because they are at the top.
The newest of
Yeah,
new.
they're
Yeah.
nice. They're right there. And I was even thinking about maybe taking some of my Grinch females to them just because if you're gonna breed color, you're gonna have to sacrifice your color to bring that structure in, and it's just you got to double back on it to.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're really trying to build, it's just gonna take time. You're getting those are necessary pieces to build what you want to build. So,
you know who did that was famous Frenchies. I watched him do it a couple years ago, and man, to this day I still love his shit.
Yeah.
Them dogs, them puppies, them dogs that he be posting, they're nice. They got color.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He sent me some pictures the other day of him. I actually seen a female yesterday. She's in Texas. I believe her name is. What's her name?
color dog.
The color dog. So fluffy. It's from what's Off the Leash. That bitch is bad, bro.
The little tri one.
The little tri female,
Yeah.
tri fluffy female.
Yeah. I don't know her name or nothing like that, but I've seen
Fortune
a
Cookie.
picture of her.
I believe her name is Fortune Cookie.
Yeah.
You have to send it to me. I don't even know.
Yeah. I've seen the dog, but once again, like I really only paid attention because of who had it. Really, you know what I'm saying? So I just, but yeah, I didn't know the name or anything. But it's a nice dog.
Yeah,
So.
she got fronts, everything, fluffy, big rope.
And he actually just bred like a fluffy to Evil Ways. I think.
Yeah, he did. It's
So-
Cash. What's his name? Cash Money Maurice or what's it?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. I forgot.
Justin.
Justin.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, people are definitely doing that. I remember people were doing that. It's a breeder I won't even mention because of poop, but was doing it a long time ago. Was starting that. Yeah, I always turned my nose up to it just because it wasn't my style, and I kind of was like, why? But you know, I guess when you're starting to get dogs like the one he mentioned or the ones you're mentioning, like you know, I guess that's why.
You get bored.
Yeah. But
I mean, because
I can rebuttal that because it's just like, bro, we're so far from.
I get that,
you know?
but like if we're still doing like I have I call him Benny Bento Box Unagi's son, and like his pedigree is crazy.
Yeah.
It was a putback deal that we did with the homie UC Frenchies, Phil, and
He's still breeding dogs?
him too. He took a little break. Right, life happens. You got to sort some shit out, and then you get your stuff squared away. And I talk to him every day, and I believe he told me he wanted to do some stuff still. So, but he's got dope females.
Once it's in you, it's hard to run away.
It really is, man.
This is like a cancer. It never goes away.
It really don't. You take all the pills in the world, they'll still be there. But Phil, he said he wants to do some stuff. He's got a credit to our boy Benny. Yeah, I mean Benny's got everybody. He's got, literally everybody.
Yeah.
Debo, Don, Algoon, Brain, because Phil's line is built off of Brain,
Right.
And so Benny got everything.
That's crazy, Algoon.
Yeah.
That's why that. What's his name?
Wasabi?
Yeah, Wasabi. That's crazy. That boy used to stay on the internet.
Oh yeah, oh man, I loved watching his lives.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wasabi. I seen him pop up the other day. But
Yeah, he does. He's more. I think he's mostly more of a bully breeder now.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I ran into him in. I think I met him at Vegas, and we had Unagi there, and I showed him. I said, "Hey, this is Unagi. He's a grandson off of Al." And he goes, "Oh, it's off my goon. It's off my goon." He picked him up, looked at him. He goes, "Y'all coming to my show?" And I was like, "We can't make it to Florida." He goes, "Oh," put him down and walked away. I said, "Man," I said, "that dude's a cold shot."
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, that he used to be on live all the
He's
time.
a character.
Yeah, he's a character. He said some wild shit.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So going back to more of the reproductive stuff, because I feel like that's like where you're really,
That's my main focus.
yeah, that's where you're thriving right now.
Yeah.
So
That's more fun. It's more fun for me to watch other people get excited
Yeah.
for their breedings because I've done big dollar studs. I've purchased big dollar studs. We paid $100,000 for a dog out of the UK.
Yeah.
He was the first new shade Isabella and tan. I literally picked him up in LA, drove him home, and he had 2 females waiting for him. And it was
Nice.
just on and cracking
Yeah.
like 3 times a week for a whole year.
yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things, like the do's and don'ts that you're seeing people do in the reproductive aspect of, breeding? Like like breeders or like new breeders. What are some of the things that they're doing wrong that you're seeing?
One, you can't cheap out in the beginning. You're gonna go spend your money on a nice female. You're gonna spend money on a nice stud credit. But more than 3 PG tests, you start kind of losing interest in the next test.
Yeah.
I really like to. I really don't. The numbers don't mean a whole bunch to me. What I'm really looking for is that LH surge. If you see that jump from a 8 to a 20, your female's getting pregnant. I'd be willing to bet every dollar in my pocket.
Yeah.
You see that push, she's getting pregnant.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. We were talking about that before, is that I don't really get too hung up on numbers.
Yeah.
I want to see, I called it a spike.
Yep.
But you said
Spikes,
people
that
run
man-
from that. People run from that.
That word makes
Yeah.
them nervous.
Don't run from spike. It's
No.
what you want to see. It's a
Yeah.
surge, whatever. That's what you
we're
want to see.
looking for.
Yeah.
I don't think, you get to ovulation and then wait 2 days. I
Yeah.
don't think that works.
Yeah.
You get lucky. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people that get lucky doing that. But I've also done where people will come in for their second AI because their dog was at a 12, right?
Yeah.
So they say, okay, we're going to wait 2 days and then we're just going to breed her.
Yeah.
So they'll do 2 AIs back to back. And on that second AI, I'll do a progesterone test just for myself.
Yeah.
So that way, when they come in confirm on 35 days that she's not pregnant, then I'll hand them that test and say, next time, just listen to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And that's just to save.
I mean, they got to learn. I call
Yeah.
it paying tuition.
And it's also data for himself,
Yep.
You're gonna see what's
It gives
hitting
me
and what's
something to
not.
stand on.
Yeah. Yeah, or you're like, oh fuck, that hit, or well,
Yeah.
whatever. She spiked. I don't know.
Because
But-
way, somehow, they'll find a way to make it my fault
Oh,
that
yeah.
she didn't get pregnant.
Yeah, that's the the shitty part of your lane.
Yep.
Is that it's always your fault. It's not the fact that you said that your dog has an ear infection, mange, and fucking anal prolapse.
Yeah, and you're trying to do
And it didn't
AIs.
take. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's but it's my fault.
Yeah.
So, back to like spikes or surge or whatever. That's why like ovulation is a range. It's never like ovulation is at 5.
Yeah.
It's not at 5. It's
five-
around.
It's like
yes.
5 to 10.
Yes, exactly. It's at a range. So that's to back to my point where numbers don't matter.
No.
Specific numbers don't matter. The way they move matters.
I started trying to learn cytology.
Yeah.
And I was doing the swabs and I was doing all this and I was like, this is too much work.
Yeah.
I'm doing the cytology.
But it is
and I'm
cool.
still doing the PG test.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing my PG test is correlating to the cytology. I'm wasting time.
Yeah.
The numbers are good.
Oh, okay.
The levels are good.
So the correlation's the same. Why would I be putting the scope?
Yeah, why am
would
I?
bust
I'm
the
wasting
scope out?
slides.
Yeah.
I'm wasting Q-tips. I'm wasting my time.
Shit, back in like 2011, I did cytology. I had some EBs and I did cytology with this vet in Merced where I stay. He just was out of his garage. Same thing. Life happened to him. I guess that's the reference now. We're just gonna say
Yep,
life
life
happened.
happens.
Okay, so life happened to him and he was out of his garage and he did cytology for me and I was like, what the fuck is this? And he whatever. So we got to a point. He was like, all right, breed today.
Yeah.
and I hit the bitch with 1 AI, 11 puppies.
Yep. They're
You know?
looking. I think they're looking for the cells. I think it's called cornifying or something like
Yeah,
that.
like they get the C shape or whatever. Yeah.
So, no, I mean, I did it. I tried, and I was just like, you
But
know
yeah,
what?
like you said, if the correlation's there, is no reason.
Yeah, no. And I mean, I don't know, man. I've helped a lot of people. I still help a lot of people.
Yeah.
I want to say, out of everybody, even during COVID and through everything, people that jumped in to do reproduction, I can honestly say the reason I think I'm still here is I'm the most consistent.
You stand on it 10 toes.
Yeah.
T in the lab. T _ in the lab. You want your PGs? You want to hit? Come talk to him and listen to what he tells you.
Yeah.
I listen to him in the work.
Yeah. You hit?
Yeah, I hit.
Yeah. Call me up. Late night call. She's in heat. Bred her 2 times. She can't get pregnant.
Pinky.
What am I doing wrong?
Last with bullet breeding.
Yeah. What I tell you, I said, just let me quarterback this.
You in Rack City though, you guys got it down.
Oh, well, so Rack, he is like my unofficial business partner. Mm-hmm. That dude right there, before he did progesterone and all his own reproduction, I helped him out with his dog Bino at the time. He bought it from George Mosley. And that boy Bino, that man would drive from Pinole every day to do breedings, to get his own females tested. I remember one time his wife Dana, because she would do the footwork, because Anthony had his own job. He owned I think he still owns it, but a used car. And he would call me and say, hey, I'm going to send D down there. Bino got a breeding. I got a female in heat. We're going to bring her too. And I did some stuff for him, and everything got pregnant. Everything I would test for him, because out here in the valley, everybody wanted to breed to Bino. Bino, to this day, Bino and Monopoly, those 2 boys, I owe a lot to them, because those 2 boys really put me through work. Like, they kept me busy.
It's crazy because it took me a minute. I have no idea who you're talking about, but it's because it's not my lane.
It's not.
But then when you say, I know who Monopoly is. But,
Yeah, I know.
Monopoly, that boy too. Divine would call me and say, hey, I got a female testing with you, and okay.
Right.
And he had people in his own town that were doing everything that I do.
Yeah.
And he would refuse to use them and just come to me. And that's the other thing, like, about progesterone, all these, like you said, it's a range. Mm-hmm. Why is it a range and not a specific number?
Right.
Because they took 100 dogs of all different breeds,
right,
and did progesterone tests on them, and they come up with the range.
Yeah.
I had a lady one time, she was mad. Boy, she was mad. I can't even tell you how mad she was. She swore up and down that my progesterone machine was calibrated for little dogs.
You didn't tell her that progesterone is progesterone?
She wouldn't believe me.
Progesterone in dog is the same progesterone that's in like a woman.
That's
it's
a horse,
it's a hormone.
a goat,
it's a hormone,
a pig, all of it.
Yeah,
you know that heat shot that everybody wants.
Yeah, right.
It's designed.
We're gonna cut that out.
Yeah, don't tell everybody. Yeah, but so the heat shot that everybody wants, is designed for a pig.
Right.
Yeah.
Swine.
Your dog cannot get bred at day 30, not be pregnant, and then because you decide
hit it with a PG-600,
it doesn't work.
Yes,
she'll come back into heat.
The dog
she
has to
won't
be
ovulate.
ready. Well, I haven't even seen him come back in the heat.
I
30 days after?
Well, no, I don't make them wait anything.
Yeah.
It's whatever they do. Like,
but you recommend.
I always tell them, hey, there's rules to this shot.
Yeah.
She cannot have been bred and missed.
Yeah.
She needs to be at
She has
least
to recover
6 months from her last heat.
Yeah.
Or older than 11 months.
Because I've used that shot with success.
Oh, yeah, so have I.
Major success.
Yeah. Really? I did. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna bleep that out. But
Yeah, I did one. I did one for dog money.
So the heat shot works. We're not going to bleep that out because we're going to monetize the heat shot.
Oh, yeah.
But
I keep it in my refrigerator. If you need a shot, let me know.
Yeah, pull up. I've had success with the heat shot multiple times.
Yeah.
I've produced some hitters with that heat shot.
Absolutely.
yeah.
I did one. I did one for dog money. They had a female, wouldn't come into heat.
Yeah.
Gave her the heat shot. 10 puppies.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if the dog's healthy, it's gonna come in heat and it's gonna produce. And yeah, it's just.
It works.
Yeah, it works.
It works. I don't know what to tell you guys. It works. You just
it works.
If you can't get it to work, you're doing something wrong. Throw your bottle away and just come get one shot from me. I won't sell you the bottle. I won't even tell you where I bought it from.
Yeah. Nope. I won't tell you where I get mine either.
Nope.
I get mine from him, so it don't matter.
You can get yours from me.
Yeah. What you got, Chucho? You want to touch on something? You got anything you want to talk about?
I know you've seen some bad semen from stud owners out there. You ain't gotta speak on the stud.
Talk about it.
Man.
But
It's
I want to know.
It's always the semen that gets shipped in.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what other reproduction guys are doing.
So it's in the prep, you're saying?
Yeah, always. It's 100% in the. Or I mean, I get it if your dog is overworked.
Yeah.
But it's always in the prep. Me personally, if I collect your stud, I let them squirt 2-3 times, then I'll bag them.
We just want that sauce.
I only want the white milky part, and then after that, the rest can go on the table.
Right.
I'm not
prosthetic fluid, right?
yeah, that's it. I'm not spinning it down. That's like the big killer. They will spin it down, thinking they're doing me a favor.
Yeah.
And then I get it on my end, and it's trash. Another thing, that Kenny skim milk or goat's milk or whatever it is, extender, it is not 48 hour. It's 24 hour. Straight up. It's 24 hour. It's $8. You can probably get 11 samples out of that shit, and it's trash.
You heard it here first.
That's
Don't use
it.
that shit.
Use 5-day, use 10-day.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. You got to pay $50 for one bottle, and you're only going to get 4 collections out of it.
Right.
But I mean,
you're getting paid thousands for those collections, right?
Yeah.
So,
What's the worst case scenario you've seen? I know you've seen some shit.
Oh, just the semen show up completely dead, frozen. The best part is when the bitch owner receives the semen and they put it in the freezer in the box because it needs to be cold, or they put it in the fridge and it drops down and then it shows up to me and there's an ice cube. And it's like, throw this away. Oh, well, the stud owner told me to put it in the fridge, but not in the box or not in the freezer.
Yeah.
You know? Another one of my favorites is it shows up dead and the stud owner says, just put it in her. Just put it in her. I'll get you another sample tomorrow.
Like, why?
Why? Yeah, why? You know why? Because they want to call that a breeding.
They want to secure the breeding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of, having to send the money back.
Yeah.
They want to make sure they get their...
Dirtbag activities.
They're all going to hate me. That's fine.
It's just dirtbag activities,
Yeah.
just to secure that bag. Like, if you're that worried about the bag, like, invest a little into your shipment, you know? Make sure that your semen's arriving, on time and good. So
you don't recommend spinning down the semen?
I don't have a reason to. And honestly, I got to give my flowers to Rack City for that. He's the one that actually really showed me how to prep. I knew how to prep before, but I was guilty of it. I was using the Kenny's milk crap. And he's the one that put me on and showed me, hey, when we ship out Beano, this is what we're going to use. And this is how we're going to do it. I was never spinning down, but my extender game was messed up.
yeah.
And he put me on.
What's your your knock on spinning it down? It's just unnecessary, or
If you're not spinning it down right, you're spinning it down too fast for too long.
you're fucking them up.
Oh, you'll kill them.
Kill them, yeah.
You kill them.
Okay.
I've experimented. I've killed them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Experimenting spinning down semen and whack them.
Yeah, whack them.
That's crazy.
That quick too, man. 1 minute too long, or like 500 RPMs too much.
Yeah, so
Done.
it's over.
Cooked.
Yeah. What about so being that you deal with breedings and stuff, let's clear up, like, okay, so some obviously different studs produce different amount in that bag.
Yeah.
What is enough semen for a breeding? Let's give it to the people, because so many people, there are so many people out there that are like, they want to see like a bag full of fucking liquid.
Oh, I've got stud owners that'll pull up and say, "Don't let him go until he's soft," and I just look at him like,
Yeah.
I don't got 10 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this.
How much semen do we need for an AI?
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
That's
okay.
it. 3 to 5.
Okay. And so we're talking about.
And then you got to realize
That's
you
also
don't even need the 5 really, because as soon as you put that bitch on the floor, that semen is running out of her.
Right.
Like the goal is not, we don't need to water it down. We need to keep our concentration up, and we need to keep it inside of her.
You're right.
So
Okay.
if we're gonna,
and if you spit 10 cc's in her, it's just gonna come right
that's
back
crazy.
out.
I used to have a stud that boy would collect 12 mLs.
And we're talking Frenchies?
16 mLs. Yeah, Murphy
That's
the
crazy.
Frenchie. That dude was wild. But
Even
we would
3
breed.
to 5 was high to me.
Yeah.
When you said 3 to 5, that's high to me.
It kind of is, but
Yeah.
you got bitch owners
Yeah.
that are looking for the quantity.
Or
and
volume. Yeah, they're just looking for
They're
volume.
looking for volume. They think
Yeah.
because there is more. Even stud owners, they'll come in bragging like, "Oh man, we just collected 8 mLs off of him," and I'm like, "Well, I don't need that much."
Right. So
yeah.
So it's 2 cc's of semen and 6 cc's of prosthetic fluid.
That's it. Yeah, all we did was dilute it.
Yeah, that does nothing.
All we did was dilute it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because for me, like, give me 2 solid cc's. That's all I need.
Yeah, you could do that.
Give me 2 cc's.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
I've done it with worse.
And I did an AI with half a cc.
Took.
See?
When I did my Don breeding, my bitch had Don give me a 0.3.
Damn.
Crazy.
0.3.
Yeah.
When we bred to Don, he gave us like just shy of 1, and we had like, I think we had 5 puppies.
Yeah, I had 5
Yeah.
puppies with
That's
that
crazy.
0.3.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's the point I'm trying to make, is that when I say that your stud doesn't need 5 mLs to do an AI,
Yeah.
if your stud, which there are studs out there that only produce 0.5,
Yeah.
and I've collected them, and you guys have bred to them, and those studs, their semen works.
Yeah.
That shit's like an atom bomb.
Yeah. It's Elmer's glue.
Straight up, man.
Yeah.
You throw this shit at the wall, it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. It's like me.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You wild.
You ready for another drink?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
Where's my bartender
We can
at?
take a brief intermission.
I mean, to do a surgical at a 15,
Yeah.
but I mean, if you think about like the whole reproductive system and how the parts are designed,
Yeah.
I mean, we're achieving the same thing, an AI versus a surgical, right? It's literally the same thing. It's just a different method.
Right.
So whether you're putting a pipetter into her and then squirting the semen in
Yeah.
versus sedating her and pulling her horns out and injecting the semen directly into the horns, at the end of the day, we're still achieving the same like goal.
Okay, but with that, are we recording?
Perfect.
But with that being said, like, are there, times where one method
better than the other?
Yeah, where you would use one method.
I mean, yeah. For one, if you're getting semen shipped in,
Yeah.
and we know after looking at it under the microscope, it's trash.
Yeah.
That would probably be a good candidate.
Okay. So you're you're giving me the feeling that surgical for you is last case.
Yeah, unless it's a bully
Okay.
or an English bulldog, because for some reason they are hard to get pregnant on AIs.
Okay.
Some will do it no problem, and then you got that 10 that just you can't do it. They won't do it.
Surgical just necessary for them.
It just happens that way.
Yeah,
Why?
that just happened to me.
I wish I knew.
Yeah.
That
I
just
wonder
happened to
why.
me. I bred to Boogie and
Did AIs?
did 2 AIs back to back, and the bitch didn't take.
But you knew better.
I know.
Why didn't you do a surgical?
I was just being fucking lazy.
Cheaped out.
Not even. It's,
No, I don't mean it that way, but
Being lazy has cost me so fucking much in this game. It's crazy.
I just didn't want to take the time. I was like, fuck it. You know what I was thinking though, because it was prep semen, so I'm like, fuck it,
just run it.
just run it.
Yeah.
Are you like, oh, it'll last? in her?
It'll last in here.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your take on that? On doing AIs with extender? Is it really living longer in there? What do you think?
I mean, the female's body, her enzymes and stuff are designed.
It is
It is
extender.
extender. It's designed.
Exactly.
You know, it's designed.
Yeah. Because I know like
do
even
that.
old school breeders that would that were
Ad
like
extender?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
then-
extender out there too with like antibiotics too.
Yep.
Have you ever used that?
Yep. That's the Kenny's is like that too. Mm-hmm. They sell one that has antibiotic in it.
What would be a reason to be using that?
Low volume, like again 0.5,
Yeah.
just to make the female owner feel a little bit better.
Low
Really,
volume,
that's-
or if the female has like, if she's pulling, would you recommend that?
Surgical.
Yeah, yeah.
sure,
For
yeah.
a pulling female, I think AI is just a waste of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Personally. Yeah. If a female's pulling, so that female that we seen on Instagram yesterday, is that female being bred?
No.
No.
And that's the crazy part is that dude went to a vet, and the vet was pushing for him to do a spay, telling him that she had pyometra.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I'm like, well, hold on, like, let's go over details. Did they do a blood test on her? He's like, no.
Yeah.
I was like, so what did they do? They looked at the color of
So
blood.
like, how did they diagnose?
Yeah. But the crazy part is that, so like, I'm just here. I'm trying to help everybody, right?
Yeah.
I'll help you as best as I can to a limit, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm enough to put you in the right direction, but not enough to get myself in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's hitting me up, and he's like, so the vet called animal control in my city and told animal control that my female has pyometra and that I don't want to treat her.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck, for real?
For real.
Nah.
That's crazy.
Hey, this is what he's telling me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see why he has a reason
I
to
hope
lie
he
to
doesn't
me.
watch this, but like, I just find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's like, what do I do? And I said, well, man, honestly, if they didn't do a blood test, because you do a blood test, you're going to have, with pyometra comes refusing to eat food.
Right.
They're going to start
gonna
engorging themselves on water because they're dehydrating. Then you're going to do a blood test, and that's going to show you an elevated white blood cell count because she's going septic. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Your female goes septic. I just told him, I said, bro, if you don't have a blood test from the vet, that would be my argument. Like, they just told me she had it, but
Right.
she's just pulling. She's not actually in
Yeah.
the pyometra stage.
So what is there anything other than a blood test that's indicative, other than like, is there a color or a smell that's saying pyometra other than like the engorging with water?
I call it that strawberry milkshake color.
Okay.
That creamy
Yeah.
pink, and then you'll get that nasty fishy smell.
Yeah.
And you'll never once you smell it, you'll never forget the smell. You'll
Yeah.
get a strong iron smell too. And again, depending on how many dogs you have and how good your smell is,
Yeah.
you'll know it, or it'll pass you up until she's already there.
Right. So, like my MJ daughter, for instance, that I bred, when the vet did the surgical, they like massaged her stomach, and it was just coming out.
Yeah.
And it was like, it smelled rotten.
Oh yeah,
And it was like black at that point.
because the blood was spoiling.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was treating her, and then I thought for sure this dog didn't take. But I was treating her, with antibiotics or whatever. And she was just like pouring out for like 5-6 days
And
after
that's
that.
the crazy part, is that a lot of these breeders, they don't have the supplies to drain these females, or the time to do it themselves, or they're grossed out by it.
Yeah.
But they don't want to. They don't want to take them to the vet every day to have that done.
Yeah.
Because now we're spending our money
Yeah.
on something that is not breeding, but it's part of breeding.
Yeah.
It happens.
Right. Right. They don't want to go spend money on something that's not giving them puppies.
Exactly. Or it's a retired female that is just in the yard not being bred, but she's
Right.
got pyometra now,
Yeah.
and her job is done.
Where she's
just a
actually more
pet
likely
now.
to get pyometra because she's not being bred.
Yep.
And, yeah. That female, though, she did start dropping like some pink drops after like about 5 days or so. But I just continued to treat her, and the bitch is pregnant.
There you go.
But it's
But you're taking all the right steps.
Yeah, you took care of it. You know what I mean? A
Yeah.
lot of these people
yeah.
wouldn't even.
But I guess basically what I'm getting at when I said all that is like, don't be scared to when you run into bumps like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Just treat it.
keep it pushing, treat it, do what you need to do, And sometimes you're gonna hit, and sometimes you're not.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this: I did a surgical on her with prep semen from out of state, and the semen wasn't that great.
Yeah. And she's pregnant.
And the bitch is pregnant.
There you go.
So,
But that's the perfect scenario where surgical needs to be used.
yeah, right. The bitch was fucked up, and we got prep semen.
Yep.
The two, yeah.
Everything was against you.
Right. Well, we got pups on the way, so I'll take it.
I can't wait to see those puppies.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I still want to dive a little more into like reproduction and stuff like that, and but I need a little direction. What do you guys? What's some things you guys want to touch on, or lanes you want to go into, different aspects of reproduction?
I would say another thing that me and Rack City run into this a lot.
Yeah.
If for whatever reason we're not available at 3:00 when you want your PG test done,
Yeah.
right? And I tested her 2 days ago and she was at a 5, and I told you come back in 2 days, and then you went to your buddy around the corner,
Right.
and he tested on his machine, and I'm using a Wanfo and he's using a Vet Chroma,
Right.
and now that 5 has turned into a 2.5 or a 3.
Yeah.
And how did she drop? Why did she drop?
Yeah.
Now I got to start asking questions like, okay, well, where did you go test that?
Yeah. What kind of machine?
What kind of machine is it?
Yeah.
Do you understand that not every machine is calibrated the same? Even on the Wanfos, every time you buy a box, right? Depending on how big you buy your stockpile of tests, all those boxes come with different calibration chips.
Yeah.
So the 10 tests that you're going to use for one box, the next 10 are going to have a completely different chip. And I've seen me and Rack City, because we've basically spitballed so much back and forth between how his dogs are testing. We've had same calibrations. We've bought 40 boxes together, so that way we're both on the same calibration. So that way, if I'm not available, somebody can go to him, and we know they're going to get the same exact
comparable numbers.
Yes. I've also seen where guys will just finger bang everything. The pipetters, those little yellow things that come with the boxes. I've seen dudes literally pick up a slice of pizza, eat the pizza, put it down, and then with the same hand just grab.
Right.
They're getting oil into it. Their finger oils, the food oils, and then they test the dog, and she's at a 50.
Yeah.
She went from a 3 to a 50 in 4 days.
Yeah, because it's half progesterone, half pepperoni.
That's
grease.
it. Yeah, we got the pig in there.
A little sample like that, like
Simple stuff.
That's another thing I was gonna say or ask too. Is there a technique to putting the blood into the tubes and stuff like that? Like, can you? Because I've heard like you can break up the blood cells and stuff by like shooting it too hard or anything like that. Is there any truth to that?
I mean, just come get your test from me at Rack City.
I love it.
If you want to do it at home, do it at home.
Nah, it's beautiful. Nah, yeah. I'm with that. I would say the same thing.
Yeah.
So, I'll ask off camera.
But I mean, even spinning down your blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely techniques. Like I figured out something, and I mean, within a week, I bought Rack City the machine and said, "Here, this is how you need to do it. This is how I do it."
Yeah.
And
When you're finding
everything's
success,
working.
yeah.
And I don't know if he's still doing it because I haven't asked him. I'll call him tomorrow and find out.
Yeah.
But even like something as simple as your centrifuge, it makes a difference.
Yeah. I know people that like personal friends that go to Rack City and stuff, and live and die by that machine. So, yeah. I guess he's still finding success. So whatever whatever it is, I'm sure he's still doing it.
I mean, he's always busy. I'm always busy, but I mean, I jump on the phone with him, and it's like 2-3 hour phone calls, just going over everything.
Right. And I will say where you're saying like you guys are busy and stuff like that, where that the proof is in the pudding with that, because I know other people that have offered services, for PG and stuff like that, and and we know that if a customer, especially in like a newer breeder or someone with less knowledge, if they go and they have 1-2 females not take. They're never coming back to you.
No, they're done.
They're never coming back to that person that's
that
testing. So, So yeah, you're if people are still coming to you, it's for a reason.
Mm-hmm. He was having people go to this person for reproductive services, PG tests, and then he would ask them, "Who are you breeding to?" Knowing that this stud owner is sending his clientele there, right? We're trusted. Like, it's crazy. He would show them his dog. Oh, look at this guy. Better DNA. Or, you know, I'll do all your PG testing for free. Just pay the stud credit. Yeah. I've heard people, like the female owners tell me, like, bro, he let his dog out and he started trying to hump my female, and I'm like having to pick my female up because I got a breeding with somebody else that I want to do. Or he told me I had to do it right now or she wasn't going to take because she went from a 12 to a 30.
So basically trying to get him to use his stud.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, undercut. Plenty of that going around.
Who is that?
That's crazy.
Trying to think of who that could be. But you were saying something about them stealing semen?
No, not actually stealing the semen, but
Yeah, that's what
I've actually heard of that too.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of that
I've
too.
heard of a vet doing that.
Yeah, sending 2 vials and only one gets used, and
Yeah.
the second one they use it on another female.
I've heard of a vet saying like, "Hey, who do you want to breed to?" Yeah.
Who do you want to breed to?
Yeah.
Because they got it on ice.
Basically.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know? I did a Tubbs breeding last year.
Are you gonna get into that?
Storing semen?
Yeah.
No. I don't want to be responsible for nobody's semen outside of 5 days.
Valid.
Yeah, you got to have insurance policies. You got to have just so much. I mean, if I was storing semen for 10 dogs and I
Yeah.
died tomorrow, come pick your semen up, I guess, because, you know.
Like, hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe my little guy will take care of it for
Yeah.
me. But there's just too much liability. Mm-hmm. I don't see the draw to it.
Yeah. Yeah, the fees aren't. It's not like you're making a shitload of money doing it.
No, and it's just taking up
Yeah.
space.
The initial prep, like, you're
Yeah.
gonna make money there, but then the
Rest
Every
of
year after that,
right.
what are they charging right now for stored semen for a year?
$100.
Yeah, it's not even worth it.
Yeah.
If you have 20,000 studs that you're holding on to, it's worth it.
Right.
But
that's. I mean, I guess it's not tough, but you'd have to have You'd have to expand beyond the bully breeds. To get that many, to get that many studs. So speaking of that, are there any other things that you want to expand on with reproduction, like things that you don't do now that you would like to do? Other than the PG testing, what are other services that you do offer?
Well, obviously AIs,
Okay.
TCIs, ultrasound, reverse progesterone. Same thing as regular progesterone, but we're just watching it go down now.
Right.
I help a lot of people get to the finish line.
Yeah.
I will quarterback from the minute you walk in to the minute you are having to get your C-section.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that you're doing things the right way, because
Start to finish service.
straight up, because there's times where people have called me and been like, well, my vet told me it was safe because it's day 60. And then they open them up and 3 hours later, all the puppies are dead.
Naked mole rat.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Slick
You
face.
go off of reverse, or you trust the.
I got like a 3-5 rule. If I don't have at least 3 symptoms out of the 5, I'm really uncomfortable. And so then I'll move to a reverse. And if the reverse will solidify it, then I'll tell them, okay, you guys are safe. If they want to do something on their own, I can bring you to the water, basically.
Right, right.
You can only
At the end of the day, it's your call.
Yeah, after that, it's up to you guys.
Yeah. With that being said, on a reverse, like what's a good range that you like to see people do their C-sections at with testing with you?
Under a 5.
Under a 5.
But I'm looking at more than just that level.
Yeah.
Because there's some dogs, like if you only have 1 or 2 puppies, you may never see that 5.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to see day 63, 64 before you
Right.
ever see that 5.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really it. I mean, I
Yeah.
really look for
Three of the 5.
body temperature drop. She's going to stop eating
Right.
nesting, panting. Obviously, she's got to be more than 58 days. That's another thing. 60 days is not the first safe day she can go into labor.
Yeah.
58, 57 even sometimes.
Yeah, no, I had a saga litter at 58 days, and
Yeah.
they were perfectly fine.
Yeah, so if you're at home right now watching this and you are on day 58, take her temperature.
Yeah.
Better start taking tests.
And
Yeah.
also, don't panic.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But to think that she's got until day 60 is wrong. I get phone calls all the time where people are like, she doesn't want to eat today. It's only day 58. They're stressing. They think it's too early.
Yeah.
It's really not.
Yeah, no, my female was at day 58. I went and played basketball. I came home at 11 from playing basketball, and there was a puppy right there.
There you go.
I was like, oh, shit. And then I took her and...
Lulu?
No, Nikki. It was a Saga litter. Pre-Lulu.
Man, Saga.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was Saga's first litter.
Wow. I haven't heard that one in a long time.
Yeah, it was meant that was probably like 2016, 2017, something
Yeah.
like that. 2016 for sure, not 17. Yeah, came home, there was a puppy day 58. Thought no way that she was gonna have puppies that day.
Oh, yeah, it happens.
And
58.
yeah.
I tell everybody, like, if you're coming to me, I literally have the playbook written out.
Yeah.
Everybody, if you're a first timer, I send you a text message that breaks everything down.
Yeah.
If you're getting shipped semen, it literally has a section in there showing you, like, okay, these are the steps we're gonna take. This is why we're taking them. This is what you're gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do for you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they bought a dog from a family member and they want the same thing that the family member had.
Right.
You know, and so
And neither one of them knew what they were doing.
yeah, yeah, they
Yeah.
just come to me
Yeah.
and I make it happen.
And when he says come to him, he means T_ in the lab.
Thank you.
You know, I
Hey,
do what I
don't you
can.
hate second opinions though? That's something you deal with a lot.
You know
right?
what? I've been very fortunate because I've been so consistent and successful that people will go somewhere else and then they'll be like, "Oh, well, my friend said," and then they go, "Well, did you tell your?" I tell them, "Did you tell your friend who told you?"
Yeah.
And then they call their friend and they're like, "Oh yeah, my boy said you're good. Like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you know, my bad."
I'm like, yeah, and your friend's a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
90% of the time.
yeah.
90% of the time, your friend doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about.
They got lucky.
Yeah.
That's what it was. They got lucky. Waiting till day 14 doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Or day 10.
That
yeah.
was back in the day.
Yeah,
That's how we used to breed.
yeah. That's how I bred.
Yeah.
Day 14.
Back,
What did day 10 and it smelled like copper and that fishy smell?
Yeah.
Well, she was ready.
yep. Hit a day, skip a day, hit a day, skip a day. That's what we used to do.
She was ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. More than 2 AIs over 3 days is too much.
Wait, hold on. Say that again.
More than 2 AIs
Uh-huh.
or more than 3 days of breeding, whether you go 3 days in a row. So if you start on Monday,
Yeah.
there's no reason you should be putting semen in her on Friday.
Okay.
3 days. That's really your window.
Yeah.
Because on the backside, if we're breeding large breed, you can do whatever you want because they push them out.
Yeah.
Frenchies, bullies, EBs.
So what you're saying is you're trying to avoid taking on 2 different days too far apart.
yeah,
Okay.
or just even you again.
That's where you're going with that,
You
though?
tested her to a 12.
Yeah.
and then you bred the next 5 days.
Yeah.
So we have no clue what day she took.
Yeah. And she could have took on 1 and 5. You know, or
You know, I can't really say that I've seen people pull a litter out.
being that different.
Yeah, and the one puppy being completely, slick face.
Yeah.
and another puppy.
I feel like I have seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we're calling the runt.
Yeah.
That could be it.
Possibly. Yeah. Possibly.
But it gets crazy on the backside because now you've got this dog that went from a 3 to 4 day window of delivery to like a 9-day window.
Right.
And now you're
it could have took the last day
Yeah.
of the last AI.
Yeah.
Or 3 days after that, because you have no idea what the PG was if you didn't test after that 12 or
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, we ran into that. Didn't
I ran into that with Pinky. She didn't drop her puppies after 62 days from her third AI. 62.
Yeah.
And I was
So
like,
third AI.
62 days from the third
the
AI.
third AI.
That's
So
crazy.
she would have been what 65 from first
Yeah.
AI.
yeah, 65.
Yeah.
So that you went from
And she was
basically-
loaded, too.
You went from a 4-day window of just having to keep track of her to almost 10 days?
Almost 10 days.
Yeah.
Man, that's what happens though when you have the vet on deck. Though you can just wait it out.
Yeah.
You know?
That is nice.
Yeah, it's
That
nice
is
to have
nice.
a vet on deck. You just wait it out, and it,
Yeah.
Shout out to my vet.
yeah.
Yeah, mine too.
Nah, but yeah.
Great guys.
And it's
I don't,
crazy.
think I'd go anywhere else.
Yeah, nah.
It's crazy though because I wasn't even gonna go do that 30 AI. Like I was just like, fuck, I did 2
Right.
days.
And
Yeah.
then, and now
But-
it's like it looks like that third AI is what took.
Yeah, maybe. Or the second AI took and the third AI was just there. And
Yeah.
so she really delivered on 63 versus 62.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. I don't know.
Who knows?
And then don't wait till day 67 because your friend told you they can go that long.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Who did that?
Bro, I get it all the time.
That's crazy.
I get it all the time.
Yeah.
My friend,
67
So
days?
so back to what I was saying. Your friend don't know shit.
yeah. I mean, your friend has a 9 to 5 working at FedEx.
Yeah.
He's dropping off my packages.
Yeah.
Just call me.
Yeah.
Like I help everybody.
Yeah.
Even people that don't like me, I've gotten the call where they needed help, and I said, "Yeah, I'll help that person." They didn't call me directly.
Yeah.
Somebody else called them for me because they weren't sure.
Yeah.
It happens.
Not every breeder is a reproduction specialist.
Yep.
So, just because they've had a successful litter before doesn't necessarily mean they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So ask somebody that actually does it. And that's T_ in the lab.
Hey, you believe it's luck though? Because I had horrible years.
Man, you know what? I mean, ojo, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Man, I had a bad run. Me and a couple co-owners, we had a bad run where dogs were just dying for no reason.
Damn, that's wild.
And we knew somebody was upset with us and more than capable of what we thought, and then stuff just happens. But again, when you breed to a certain level, you can give all the best care in the world and just
Don't matter.
that's it. Literally walk out to the crate after you fed them and they're passed,
Yeah.
and it's like you don't know what happened.
Been
Shit,
there.
I believe 2022, it's gotta be 2022 or 2023. I could not get no bitches to take
Man,
at all.
Yeah.
was I doing your test?
No. No.
No.
Shots fired.
Huh? That's what you.
Shots fired.
No, but it was just a bad little.
Yeah.
No, I could see that, man. I've had runs before where I'm helping people, and like in that week, because I really do. I track everything, right?
Yeah.
I have a little, you call it an appointment book, and I can literally pull your name up, and it'll show me every test you did. It'll tell me what level you were at on what day. I keep track
Just
of all
logging
this
everything.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you do in your downtime. You just log everything.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Matter of fact, now that you speak, it was one of the. I took a female, and you did tell me to go breed her the next day, but my lazy ass waited. It didn't go till the day after, so the bitch didn't
For
take.
real?
Yeah, it was sugar.
Crazy.
I mean, it happens. I mean, convenience will cost you.
Yeah.
If you're trying to make your breeding convenient, sometimes it
Probably
doesn't
not
work.
gonna go your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the people when I tell them, hey, we need the semen today, and then you find out at that time, well, they got to go pick it up in LA,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna go to LA, double back, so you can do a TCI.
That's
for
what it
them in the
was.
morning. Yeah.
That's what it was.
So when you guys have that problem, because I have the clientele,
Yeah.
and they're always putting that footwork in themselves.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if it's cheaper to spend the money yourself on gas and go do it, but your time, right?
Right.
You got work tomorrow. You got
Time's
to call
priceless.
in. Yeah. Who do you guys use to make that happen for you?
Like if we need a box of semen that day.
Yeah, like are we putting it on a plane? Are we sending somebody?
I go with Warrior Frenchies.
Okay.
They've done multiple work for me, so you know what I mean. They've taken dogs for me.
No, I see that. I they're moving, man.
They've taken the boxes of tubs before when a customer calls me like, "Hey, they're bitch spiked up."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" And they've done it.
Yeah.
It didn't spike, had a LH surge.
There you go. we had a good surge.
Yeah. Good surge.
Because I've seen dogs at a 45, 50 on a push actually still get pregnant.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
We just had a
I have a question. When you have a female that don't give you that surge or spike, what I call it, but that don't give you that surge, majority of the time the bitch don't take, right? That's what in my case.
But wait.
no because
in my case, I feel like the bitch never takes.
What are you seeing? Though?
Like, okay, she's at a 12,
Then
she goes to a 16,
okay.
and then an 18,
Okay.
or she goes from the 16 to a 22.
That's a jump.
yeah, that's still a move.
That's a jump.
That's a jump.
Yeah. 16
that's
to
a push.
22 is a jump. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or 18 to 20 or some shit like that.
That's not a
that's
jump.
not a push.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so
slow.
I
She's
had
calm.
females that done that. They could be at 18, and then tomorrow they'll be at 20 or 22, and they don't take. Like, I don't know. I feel like
It's because you're breeding too early. You shouldn't be breeding at that 22.
Yeah.
You should still be testing and looking for that surge.
That push is everything. And a lot of people will get lucky because they will test to an 18 and then do one AI and then skip a day
Do a
and then
surge.
that surge happens, but we never confirm it. That's kind of that's where we drop the ball.
Yeah.
It's only going to make my client understand better how progesterone works, but they don't care. They just want to get her pregnant.
Right.
Yeah.
They see the 15 and that's everything to them. They want to get those AIs in right away.
Yeah. They want to start their breeding.
Correct.
Yeah.
So they're almost antsy. So
Yeah.
as soon as they see a feasible number, they want to jump on.
I've
that.
seen females test at a 14.
Yeah.
And I tell them, wait 2 days. I know you don't like hearing this. Wait 2 days. Come and retest.
Yeah.
They do it. They listen. And she's at like a 12. She dipped.
Right.
And it's like, and that's why we test. And that's how you save your breeding.
Right. Right. And the problem lies with certain breeders is that guess what happens is sometimes they do take when they don't listen.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, last time we just tested the 18, did the AI, skipped a day,
Everything
did the surgical, and everything worked.
Yep.
That's the problem.
Or my
Because
favorite, her mom is always ready on day 12.
Right. Yeah, right.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, you got to remember now there's dad in there too.
Right.
You know?
and
dad's
she's
mom.
and she's her own individual.
Yeah.
Or so when they take, then they just go off of that, and it's like then the next time it don't take, and it's like, oh, your machine's off.
Yep. I guarantee you that machine is not off.
You know what I'm saying
Yep.
though? Because they did exactly the same thing. Your machine's off. It's like, no, your bitch wasn't ready,
Nope.
and you stopped testing.
Yep.
So
what's the longest you've seen a female like test?
24 days.
and wait, hold on. Here's the real question: what's the longest you've seen a female test and have a successful breeding?
Yeah, successful.
Because you could test forever and have a bitch not taking it, don't matter.
Split heats are fun because they'll come
And
into
you're having
heat.
successful litters.
Well, not on the first round of testing.
Right,
'cause
right.
They fall out.
They're
they,
never gonna
they
go
hit a
up.
0,
Yeah.
and then they think you're crazy. And then so like me, I have a lot of articles saved, and I'll just text them over a link, let them read about a split heat, how
Yeah.
it works, why it happens, and then sure enough, within 3 weeks to 30 days, she's back in heat again, and they're like, "Hey, there's blood." They're happy, they're excited now
Yeah.
because this is the real heat. But as of right now, I'd say like 24 days we had a female, and
With
that-
success?
Oh yeah,
Crazy.
and that female,
That's crazy.
that could be that maybe we counted her days wrong from when she started. Maybe we
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe
I feel like
we're-
sometimes there's a lot of that too.
we caught her late and they don't know it, or we caught her early and they just
Right.
want to start testing.
Right.
Typically, if you catch blood when it first starts, you don't need a PG test till day 8, 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Get your baseline number and work off of that.
Right. Yeah, that's another thing too, is that, and this is actually, not beneficial to say for you, but a lot of people test way too early.
Way too early.
But
And they'll tap in with me and say, "Hey, I had a guy today actually hit me up and he said, my female started her heat. When do I start testing her?"
Yeah.
Thank you. You asked.
Right.
Not, "Hey, I need to get a PG test today."
Right,
And they
right.
come in, I do a PG test, and it's like out of 2.
And you don't-
I'm like,
you don't
"How
even
many
know what day
days
she's on?" Yes.
How many days is this female? And he's like, 3. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Bro, come back in 6 days."
So here's a word of advice: stop over testing early and over test late when it really matters.
Yeah.
A lot
What
of
day do
people
you
over
recommend?
test.
Between 7 and 9, get your first test.
Yeah. they're racing to that breeding, like you're saying.
Yep.
So they want to test early because they just want to get to that breeding.
I don't want to miss it.
Yes,
That's my favorite. Like, a matter of fact, I'm gonna get a sign that says I don't want to miss it.
yeah.
Because that's what they say. I really don't want to miss it.
Right. So
Be patient.
Yeah, be patient and test more later when it matters. Don't, these people are doing 4 tests before day 10, it's like you're just wasting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Nothing's ever going to happen.
And then they look at me like, why is she not climbing?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just work here.
That's it. That's it. You gotta talk to the boss.
Yeah. So going back to reproduction and stuff like that, I know you've seen, you've been around that realm for a while. I know you've ran into some graphic things. What are some of those things that you run into, and are they preventable, and what are you seeing out there?
Botched C-sections.
Okay.
I get to see pictures sometimes
Yeah.
of dogs that are opened up and the horns are completely just wrapped in fat.
Okay.
And you're having to do.
And these are pregnant. These are
no. These are dogs that are in for surgicals.
Okay.
And so like they're out doing their surgical.
Yeah.
They're opening the female up, and there's this you could literally pick it up like a piece of asada.
Right.
Just this big old skirt of fat.
Yeah.
That has adhered itself to the uterus. Why it happens? I know, fat's parasitic, so it's going to look for a good blood source. Mm-hmm. And the uterus, if you've ever had a surgical done and your vet's been nice enough to let you watch, when you open those girls up, that uterus, it's the Y shape, but you have veins. I mean, veins is sometimes as thick as your pinky.
Yeah.
That are just, we're making babies, so we need good blood sources.
Right.
And that fat will find it and stick to it. And I've had guys tell me, man, they opened her up and one puppy came out and we could barely get the uterus out because the fat was just so wrapped around. And I don't know if there's a way to prevent it. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And are that's from previous C-sections not being the greatest, or it's just it happens and that's just something people are dealing with?
I think it's just something they're dealing with. I don't know what causes it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I've seen it, and I know it's not fun to deal with.
Yeah.
That's crazy though, because I've dealt with a vet out here in Modesto, and they fucked up one of my females.
Yeah, it happens.
What happened? What'd you deal with?
They stapled her, but she was unbreedable.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, she was unbreedable after I took him to a certain vet right here in Modesto.
Oh, shit. What are some other things that you've seen, or like when you say you've seen pictures of like botched things, like what are you seeing?
Really, that's kind of it. There's not a whole bunch. That's definitely a good reason why your female wouldn't take. If you had a successful litter one time,
Yeah.
and then you missed on your next 2, I definitely would try to convince you to go the surgical route.
Yeah.
So that way you can open it up and look, and your vet can actually tell you like, hey, they accidentally cut this when they did that, and that's why we're having a problem. Or
so you're saying like at the Y, like say it was cut right here, and it
maybe they sutured her wrong.
It scarred right there.
Maybe.
It wouldn't allow semen to get through, basically.
Maybe. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Your surgical would definitely fix that.
Right. That's why, honestly, personally, I do primarily surgicals.
If it works and
just because it's
you're
like,
happy with it, why not?
Yeah, I don't deal with, I never have to guess if the semen got there.
It's there.
Yeah, I never guess if the semen's where it needs to be.
We're just worried about the quality of the semen at that point. And I love it.
Even fresh semen.
I love it when stud owners tell me when he just had a litter and there was 8 puppies. Well, okay, I get it, but mom determines the litter size, dad determines the sex.
Right.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
If she's got 8 eggs and he's got
500 million semen.
Yeah. The odds are great that she's going to probably have those 8 puppies.
Yeah.
You can thank her
Right.
But don't get me wrong.
Nothing to do with the litter size.
No, if you get a whole litter of boys, it's your stud owner. It's the stud's fault.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, he determines that.
And with that being said, is that a semen quality thing? Because I've also heard that.
I've heard that too. Like I've talked to people that have told me like you can do certain things to have more females.
Yeah.
Like hit late.
I don't see how that would matter because the only thing that's changing at that point is that her eggs are getting older.
Well, that's what it is. They're more viable. So because. Oh no. Okay. So hitting late, you're gonna end up with more males because the eggs are more viable and the male semen are quicker, but they also die faster. So if you hit earlier, most of the male semen will be died off by that time, and there will only be female semen left.
I need to find an article on it. And read
Or
it. I need to
cells,
see
not
who.
semen. Semen's the liquid.
It's hard. Maybe
I'm pretty sure because that's how it works with people too.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to.
Yeah.
I like to read.
Well, the facts are that male swimmers die soon.
Yeah.
They're faster.
Yeah.
But they die sooner. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you just apply logic. If
we're doing our AIs,
the more ready the egg is, the more likely
you're gonna have males.
Yes.
So then, don't do surgicals. Right?
Yeah.
Now you just gave me an idea though.
Right?
I ain't gonna lie though. I've been looking for a stud though, so I'm gonna do a surgical next breeding.
Yeah. But that's like same thing with like a woman like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like your pinky breeding that you did the surgical with.
Yeah.
How many boys you have?
1,
2,
2.
How many
2.
girls?
4.
So, what do we? I mean,
Yeah.
how does it work then? I mean, like then at that point, our argument doesn't.
Well, I think.
Yeah, but at the same time though, that particular male has spit in more females than males.
And then also, just because we did a surgical doesn't necessarily mean that the eggs were where they needed to be at that point. You get what I'm saying?
I agree.
So the maturity of the eggs really matters more than the method of breeding.
Yes.
Because that certain male, Bolo, actually, he's giving me personally and other customers more females than males.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to spend the money to determine, like, I'm not going to spend it. I know you guys aren't going to spend it to determine, like, is he actually...
Does he actually have more?
Yeah, does he actually have more female
Right.
potential versus male potential?
Right.
Yeah.
How many X's and how many Y's are in there?
Yeah, exactly.
I seen a reproductive service out there somewhere that they're offering that now.
That is crazy.
That they're offering gender...
Really?
Yeah, I forgot who it was. I seen him. I was
Coming soon to T_. Yeah, so we talked about that. Or I asked you about that. There's nothing else that you're gonna add to your, your scope, I guess.
I mean, I guess if you know, right? I mean, I'm comfortable where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm comfortable where I'm at. My client base is extremely great. And they tell me all the time, so I try to stay very humble.
Yeah.
I don't want to be arrogant. I don't want to get upset at you guys because you're not listening to me.
Yeah.
That all comes with,
are you taking in new clients or?
Yeah, I'd say I work with everybody.
Yeah.
Just please have a referral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I work with everybody. I'll
The referral
do my
is gonna
best.
be the Bully Movement podcast. Now. They're like, we were actually referred we watched the podcast.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a good referral. That is a very good referral. But yeah, no, I'm always working with new people. There's a lot of people out there that they have no mentor. They literally just bought a dog, and then they bought another dog, and now one dog's in heat and the other dog wants to hump the hell out of it, and they don't know what to do.
He said they bought a dog and then they bought another dog and now they're breeders.
That's it.
You see a lot of people. You deal with a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's something besides these services you provide that you recommend to these people or getting to this breeding dogs or becoming breeders?
Man, pay attention to what the parents look like. Pay attention to what the grandparents look like. Know your DNA because another thing, do you think this is a lilac? Do you think he carries Coco?
No, how about this one? He carries Merle.
Yeah, that's the favorite because he's Brendel.
Yeah.
He's physically Brendel, but he carries Merle.
God.
No, it doesn't.
I
work
don't even
that way.
breed DNA, and like I'm just not dumb.
Yeah, but again, it's not that they're dumb; they're naive. They don't know
better.
Yeah.
I've had people tell me that they
Tomato.
Yeah, I've had people tell me that they bought Merles, and then in walks a black Brendel, and I'm like, no, that's a Brendel.
That's a Brindle. Yeah.
That was you not doing your due diligence to know what you're buying, and then that was your breeder that you purchased from, not actually knowing what they're selling you.
Right. It's from
But the price was right.
Right. It's always right.
It's always right when you're trying to cut a corner.
Yeah.
That's wild. A brindle dog is a Merle.
Yeah.
I've heard it.
To me that's less crazy than it carries Merle.
Yeah,
Because at least the
striping is
at least it has a pattern. You know what I'm saying? At least there's a visible pattern. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy though that you bring that up because I was at my vet's office and you were with me not too long ago, and a customer told the vet like, "Oh, we're gonna get some Merle puppies, right?" Because she carries Merle, and the dog was a black brindle.
Now I have seen cryptic Merle.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But that's like you got to test for that.
Or like Merle's covered in cream.
Yeah,
Stuff like that. Yeah.
But even then, you typically will see like a cracked eye. You'll see that little stripe,
that crystal eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, the vet broke that guy's heart that day.
Yeah.
That guy was disappointed.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, somebody lied to you, my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest issue in this game is how much bullshit is fed to everyone is crazy.
Yeah. And then a lot of people will buy dogs simply based off of the amount of followers.
Oh,
Wow, that's crazy.
yeah. And here's the thing. A lot of those followers aren't real.
No.
A lot of them.
And that's the other thing. Like, I'll look into their page.
Yeah.
They got 20,000 followers, but their last post only got 11 likes.
No, how about this? They got 20,000 followers, but they hide their likes.
There you
That's
go.
the new move.
Yep.
That's the new move.
If you're hiding your likes,
yeah,
we're on to you.
yeah. Nobody hiding their likes got motion like that.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? If you're hiding your likes, you're hiding something. Because if you're getting the traction that you're saying you're getting, why wouldn't you expose that?
Yeah.
Like you would be flaunting that.
Oh,
like,
I'd be gassed.
yeah. So yeah. And here's the thing. If you're gonna hide your likes, don't post reels because reels tell you how many views they get no matter what.
Yep.
So, just some game for you,
Well,
people trying to pull the blinds
Leave
over
their
people.
phone open. Just let it run all night.
Yeah, right.
Over and over and over and
Right.
over.
Yeah. Don't give them that though. They're fuck. They're gonna have like
Edit that out.
yeah, like the little. Have you guys seen those? The
little robots?
No, the fucking like the Chinese and the
Oh yeah, the
Indians.
warehouses with a bunch of phones stacked
and
up.
they're just
running.
pumping,
What do
they're
they do
just
that?
pumping views.
What is that?
That's for TikTok.
The music guys do that too. What is that? SoundCloud?
Oh,
is it SoundCloud or
to
something like
pump
that?
their numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's gonna be
Pay a couple
Frenchie
$100.
breeders
That's
doing
it.
that.
Yeah.
Having little kids in Indonesia just watching that shit over and over. Crazy.
That's crazy though, because you go to their follower list and you be seeing nothing but a bunch of Indonesian people out there.
Yeah. Bunch of fake names and stuff.
Coffee baristas.
Yeah, that's bullshit. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we covered a
lot.
Yeah, I feel like we
Covered
covered
a
a lot. I feel like there's so much more. Like I would definitely like to double back with you and do this again. And it's always like when you get in an argument with your girl and you walk away, you're like, fuck, I should have said this. You know what
Should have
I'm saying?
done that.
So
done.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll definitely circle back and do this again. But we appreciate you.
Yep.
And
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, and hosting us.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for coming out and I guess putting me on to this.
Hell yeah.
I didn't think I was. I honestly, when I watched all the podcasts, I was like, man, I don't know what I would talk about to these guys.
Yeah.
I was low key stressing all day today.
Oh man, it's easy money because this is what we do. So it's just a conversation. That's what I tell everybody. So anybody else moving forward, if we ask you, like we just have dog conversations. Like if you're really in this game and you really do this dog stuff, it's gonna be easy.
Yeah.
So
the Jack and Cokes helped.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Definitely helps me. So, but yeah, thanks again. And, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.